Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Light back here with another YouTube video. In today's video we're doing uh let's today we're doing a let's talk about the Amazon Prime show, The Boys. So yeah, I actually recently finished watching The Boys, both seasons. And I guess let's do a let's talk video, kinda like a review, because I'm really kinda reviewing this show. Just highlighting some stuff I like about it, some stuff I dislike. Uh And yeah, I'm going to be talking about both seasons. I'm not just going to be talking about one. So that's why I'm doing a let's talk and not a review. But yeah, let's get into this. So The Boys. The Boys is a hit show on Amazon Prime based on a comic called The Boys again. It's an indie, or I don't know if it's classified as an indie comic, but it's not Marvel or DC. Uh, and it's comics again. So yeah. And this show has a plethora of just awesome things it does in the show. Makes in some good writing, some cool action scenes, bunch of cool music, some cool characters, and you got a good show here. This is just a perfect mix of everything superhero you want to see in a superhero thing. I personally love the show. I'm a huge fan of it. And yeah, let's get into this review. So The Boys. Again, like I just said, it's a hit Amazon Prime show. It's probably their best, honestly. Maybe this or Invincible. And speaking of Invincible, I will be reviewing the Invincible, on I think the day after the final episode drops, just because I don't feel like reviewing it every week. I'll just do it one shot there. But yeah, let's get into this. So we're talking about The Boys again. Again, really good show. Uh, The Boys is definitely, it's gone on for about 2 seasons now, and it does some things very well. Like, I really enjoy the way Amazon was doing these kind of shows and stuff. Is their formula would be like getting good writers, but their acting is sometimes questionable. But getting good writers is a pretty good point in the whole just getting good writers for these shows and TV and movies sometimes is really well done. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into I guess the good parts. So The Boys does some really good scenes. Like, it's very realistic. I really enjoy the fact it's a hard R. To be honest with you guys, this show is a very hard R. There's a lot of graphic violence. It's not for the faint of heart. I want to warn everyone right now before we even commence talking about it. It's not for the faint of heart. So if you get grossed out or something from blood and guts, do not watch the show. Yeah, now that we got that out of the way, and there will be spoilers in this too as well. Uh, so yeah, it just the action sequences are just so much better. In my opinion, I like a lot more when it's more realistic. Like, if you're gonna stab somebody or shoot somebody, you damn well know that there's gonna be lots of blood or guts or something like that. And that's something the show does well. And I know what you might be saying, oh, Marvel and DC, they want to keep it PG-13 so children can watch it. Yeah, I understand that, but there's certain things that are definitely cool. And DC's kind of getting under that spotlight, but this is more for Marvel, and you would kind of already know because it's Disney. But that's another thing this show does. It's no holds bar. It's just it follows pretty much no rules in terms of um, anything. Like, it's a very hard R. Uh, it's very hard R. The next thing would be very good writing. Like, I think the writing on the show was spot on. Um, just with the plot twists, the characters, the dialogue, it's really well done. Like, I really like how they wrote these characters, especially the characters of the boys, the seven. For example, Homelander, he's really well done. He's really written really well. Really, I mean, his character's like a villain. I despise the villain, but I think the guy who plays him, Anthony Starr, plays him fantastically, and I think he's a really well written character. Same with like Huey and Billy the Butcher and Mother's Milk, all of them. They're all pretty good written characters. Uh, in terms of that, yeah, that's one thing about the show that's really spot on writing. Like this show is very unpredictable on what the hell's gonna happen next. Like you never know if somebody's gonna die. It kept me in my seat just staring at the TV, being like, oh, who the heck is gonna die? Would it be uh, maybe one of the members of the boys? Would it be a member of the Seven? Who knows? There was members of this show that was just they just straight up just killed everybody, or not killed everybody, but killed randomly. Like you never knew who was gonna die. Uh, and it was like completely unpredictable. I mean, it was kind of predictable. Like I kind of guessed that Huey wouldn't die. Maybe not Bully Butcher, but or Homelander, but like it was unpredictable. Like at any time, we maybe could have seen like die or Frenchie die or A Train die or something like that. So that's another thing as well. Uh, and just again with this whole like plot twist and just this show making you kind of think kind of thing, and uh, this show is mainly taken from a different kind of perspective, which you could say, oh, but the comic does that as well. But we're talking strictly on a TV show here. So, yeah, that's something else as well. But uh, it's taken from a different perspective, like people against superheroes, in this case, where they see, like, what if superheroes weren't always good and they just acted good and did some bad behind the scenes and were crazy rich and stuff like that. So that's that. I really enjoy that perspective as well. The next thing I'll be talking about is the acting. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Amazon, for at least for this show, they kind of cut the budget on acting. They put the budget for acting very low. There's a lot of characters in here. I'm gonna be honest with you guys that are very cheap. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. There's some actors. Not I'm not saying that they didn't do a good job. It's just some of them are a little bit cheap. Like currently right now, I think the guy who plays Billy Butcher, which is I think his name is Carl Urban. Sorry, that's his name. I think he's the highest paid one, and he's like I think an A-list celebrity. He's not or B-list celebrity. He's not too popular, but he's popular. But the other characters are as well. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. That's something I like as well. But sometimes the acting wasn't too well. Like, uh, in my personal opinion, I really like the performance of Anthony Starr as Homelander. That was exceptional. I thought he was really good as him, and I hope Anthony Starr gets some more projects. Like I could see him down the road playing a DC villain. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I could see him, especially if they're doing no holds bars. I think I could definitely see Anthony Starr playing a DC villain. Uh, I think he'll do it tremendously. Maybe even a Marvel villain, but personally, I think the Blood and Gore adds onto his character a bit more as well. Then I think the guy who plays Huey too. He plays him really well. Same with I guess Carl Urban he does an alright. He does a good job. Most of the cast does a good job. I mean, definitely could add some better people, but like, yeah, it's still an interesting show. It's got some big names in it, kind of. But that's besides the point. I guess now we're on to kind of character wise. I really like these characters. Characters are really well done. From their backstory to just interesting facts about them. Like Kamiko is definitely an interesting character to me. It's always interesting to kind of see her backstory and exactly what the heck's happening. Same with the boys too. The entire team of the boys, and it just seems really cool and stuff like that. Um, yeah, let's move on to the negatives. Probably some of the negatives, and honestly, is again the acting's a bit cheap, but I just explained that it doesn't necessarily be a bad thing, but it is cheap at sometimes. But it's all right though. Like I personally, it's not. I don't have a huge problem with it. I think it's could be bad sometimes, but it's all right. Honestly, in my opinion, I would give this show an overall rating of about 9.5 out of 10. I think this show is a really well done superhero show. Personally, in my opinion, it's probably my top 5 favorite uh, superhero TV shows, and it's really got me interested into more of like independent kind of super comics and stuff like that, other than Marvel and DC, of course. And yeah, but yeah, I'm super excited for season 3. Hopefully, we get season 3 soon. But anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.